What if discipline is not something you either have or don't have, but something that gets forged daily through 9 specific habits that most people will never practice? Look around you. Most people wake up and immediately reach for distraction. They let their moods decide their actions. They wait to feel motivated before they move. They negotiate with discomfort instead of walking through it. And then they wonder at 30, at 40, at 50 why their life looks nothing like what they imagined it could be. The answer is not talent, not luck, not circumstance. The answer is discipline. Iron discipline. The kind that doesn't bend when you're tired. The kind that doesn't negotiate when you're afraid. The kind that doesn't flinch when the world pushes back. Marcus Aurelius had it while ruling the most powerful empire on earth. Seneca had it while facing exile and execution. Epictetus forged it in chains, and today you'll discover 9 Stoic habits that will build that same discipline inside you, daily, systematically, permanently. Not through motivation, not through hype. Through ancient practices that have been tested by the most pressured men in history. Each habit is specific, each one is actionable, and together they will make you genuinely unstoppable. Watch till the end. The habit you skip might be the exact one standing between you and the version of yourself you know you're capable of becoming. There's a moment described in the opening pages of Meditations that most readers pass over without recognizing its full weight. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, begins his private journal not with grand proclamations or strategic plans, but with a list of what he learned from the people around him. Discipline from his grandfather. Equanimity from his father. Equanimity from his father. Self-control from his teachers. He was the most powerful man alive, and he was still deliberately studying discipline like a student. In Meditations, Book 5, Passage 1, he writes to himself, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? Or is this what I was born for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" This is not a motivational quote. This is a man at war with his own comfort. A man who understood that discipline is not a personality trait you're born with. It is a daily battle you choose to fight or surrender. Seneca, in Letters to Lucilius, Letter 13, warned, "It is not that I am brave, but that I know what is not worth fearing." Discipline for Seneca meant the ruthless elimination of unnecessary hesitation. You stop fearing the discomfort of action and start fearing the slow death of inaction. Epictetus taught that the undisciplined man is not free. He is a slave not to a master, but to his own impulses. His moods, his comfort, his avoidance. The man who cannot control himself cannot control anything. Here is the truth that modern self-help never says clearly enough. Discipline cannot be found. It cannot be downloaded. It cannot be felt your way into. It must be built habit by habit, morning by morning, decision by decision. In this video, we'll explore 9 Stoic habits that will forge iron discipline into the structure of your daily life, not as an aspiration, but as an identity. Let's begin. Habit 1. The Dawn Declaration. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, Book 5, Passage 1. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. This truth has guided warriors and leaders for centuries. Discipline begins before the first decision of the day. It begins the moment you decide to begin. The Dawn Declaration is the practice of waking at a fixed time every day regardless of mood, energy, or circumstance, and speaking a deliberate intention before touching anything external. Not an affirmation, a command. I move, I act, I build. The Stoics understood that how you enter the day determines the quality of every decision that follows. Modern behavioral science confirms this. Morning routine consistency is one of the strongest predictors of self-regulation throughout the day. Your first act of discipline sets a neurological tone that carries forward. You properly negotiate with your alarm. 5 more minutes becomes 30. 30 becomes an hour. And with every negotiation, you teach your mind that discomfort is something to be avoided rather than moved through. That lesson compounds. By midday, you're negotiating with your hardest tasks. By evening, you're negotiating with your values. It all begins at dawn, with the first small surrender that you never named, a surrender. Set one fixed wake time for the next 30 days. Not arrange a single time. When the alarm sounds, place both feet on the floor before your mind has time to argue. Then speak one sentence aloud. Today I build. It takes 3 seconds, but those 3 seconds are a declaration to your nervous system that you are in command. Then do one physical action immediately. Stand up, drink water, take a cold breath, move before thought. That sequence breaks the negotiation before it begins. Most people let their comfort decide when they start. You are deciding that your commitment decides. That difference seems small at 5 a.m. and becomes enormous by the end of the year. The person who wins the first battle of the day before coffee, before light, before the world, demands anything that person has already proven something. And proof builds the kind of confidence that no motivation speech ever could. The waking up strong means nothing if you immediately surrender your mind to noise. Habit 2 protects what habit 1 creates. Let's move forward. Habit 2. The silence guard Seneca wrote in Letters to Lucilius, letter 56. I cannot for the life of me see that quiet and uninterrupted studies are as good for us as studies made in the midst of a little uproar. But he also warned relentlessly against the noise that prevents real thinking. This truth has guided disciplined minds for centuries. The man who guards his silence guards his mind. The silence guard is the practice of protecting the first 30 minutes after waking from all external input. No phone, no news, no social media, no conversation unless essential. This is not merely a productivity trick. It is a philosophical stance. Your mind in its first waking state is most vulnerable to colonization by external noise. The Stoics understood that discipline of thought precedes discipline of action. You cannot act with clarity if your thinking was contaminated before you fully regained consciousness. Modern neuroscience calls this the hypnopompic state, a window of heightened neuroplasticity where whatever enters your mind has disproportionate influence on your cognitive patterns for the rest of the day. You've experienced this without naming it. You check your phone within 60 seconds of waking. Someone's argument, someone's opinion, some piece of breaking news enters your mind before your own thoughts do. And for the rest of the morning, you're processing someone else's reality instead of building your own. Your discipline for the day was compromised before you stood up. That is not a small cost. It is the systematic theft of your most powerful cognitive hours. Place your phone in a separate room before sleeping. When you wake, do not retrieve it for 30 minutes. Use those 30 minutes for the practices in this video. If anxiety rises, if you feel the pull to check, recognize that pull as evidence of the dependency you're breaking. Write one thought in a notebook instead, your own thought, not a response to someone else's. Over 7 days, this habit will feel less like restraint and more like relief. Over 30 days, it will feel like power. Most people give the algorithm their first thought of the day. You are choosing to give it to yourself. That choice, repeated every morning, builds a mind that thinks before it reacts, and a mind that thinks before it reacts is a mind that cannot be easily manipulated, provoked, or controlled. That is what iron discipline looks like at the level of thought. Remember habit 1, you won the first physical battle. Now you've won the first cognitive battle. Habit 3 takes that momentum and turns it into structured self-knowledge. Let's continue. Habit 3, the 3-question audit. Epictetus wrote in the Enchiridion section 1. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This truth has guided self-aware warriors for centuries. But before you can use what is in your power, you must know what you are carrying. The 3-question audit builds that knowledge every morning. The 3-question audit is a 5-minute written practice each morning that answers 3 questions. What am I resisting today and why? What is within my control that I am neglecting? What virtue do I need most in the next 12 hours? These questions are not soft self-reflection. They are operational diagnostics. They reveal the specific places where your discipline is most likely to fail today before it fails. Cognitive behavioral research consistently shows that morning self-monitoring significantly reduces impulsive behavior and increases goal-directed action throughout the day. You make the same mistakes repeatedly because you never examine the patterns creating them. You avoid the same tasks every week. You react the same way to the same triggers. You feel the same low-grade anxiety without naming its source. Without daily examination, your weaknesses are invisible to you, and invisible weaknesses run your life. The 3-question audit makes them visible every morning before they cause damage. Open a physical notebook each morning and write 3 answers. Keep them short, 3 sentences maximum each. 1. The thing I'm most likely to avoid today is, and be specific. 2. The thing within my control that I keep neglecting is, and be honest. 3. The virtue I need most today is, and name one: courage, patience, honesty, or temperance. This takes 5 minutes. After 30 days, you will have a documented map of your patterns. You will see exactly where your discipline breaks and exactly where to reinforce it. Most people are surprised by their own weaknesses because they never look for them in advance. You are building the habit of knowing yourself before the day tests you. That self-knowledge is not weakness. It is the highest form of strategic thinking. A general who knows his vulnerabilities before battle is not vulnerable. He is prepared. Habit 3 reveals what needs work. Habit 4 builds the very thing that makes all other habits possible. Let's move to habit 4. Seneca wrote in Letters to Lucilius, letter 18, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This truth has forged resilient men for centuries. Choose your hardship first, and life's hardship loses its power over you. Voluntary discomfort is the deliberate practice of doing something physically or mentally hard every single morning before anything comfortable. Cold water, a demanding workout, fasting until noon, sitting in silence when your mind screams for stimulation. The principle is not punishment, it is inoculation. When you regularly choose discomfort, 2 things happen. First, your fear of discomfort diminishes because you've repeatedly proven you can survive it. Second, your capacity for tolerating difficulty expands in every area of life. Modern distress tolerance research confirms repeated voluntary exposure to manageable discomfort is one of the most effective methods for building psychological resilience. Your procrastination is mostly discomfort avoidance. Your anger is mostly discomfort avoidance. Your hesitation before hard conversations, hard tasks, hard decisions, all of it traces back to a mind that was never trained to walk through discomfort without flinching. You avoid the difficult email. You skip the hard workout. You choose ease over excellence, not because you are lazy, but because your nervous system was never trained to treat difficulty as normal. Choose one daily discomfort practice and commit to it for 30 consecutive days. A cold shower for 60 seconds every morning. A 20-minute hard workout before breakfast. Skipping your first meal until noon. Sitting in complete silence for 10 minutes without reaching for your phone. Choose one, and do it before anything comfortable enters your day. When discomfort arrives, say Seneca's words internally, "Is this the condition I feared?" You will find the answer is almost always no. And that discovery, repeated daily, rewires your relationship with difficulty permanently. Most people are controlled by comfort. Every important decision in their life was quietly shaped by the question, "How much discomfort will this cost me?" You are building a mind where that question no longer governs. When discomfort stops being a deterrent, your life opens up in ways that comfort never could. Every hard thing you were avoiding becomes accessible. That is what unstoppable actually means. If you think habit 4 is demanding, what comes next will challenge something even deeper. Let's move to habit 5. Habit 5. The single focus Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, Book 4, Passage 3, confine yourself to the present. He didn't mean ignore the future. He meant bring your full force to bear on what is directly before you, not scattered across 10 things, but concentrated on one. This truth has guided decisive men for centuries. The single focus habit is the practice of identifying the one most important task of each day and protecting uninterrupted time for it before any other work begins. Not the most urgent task, the most important one. But distinction is critical. Urgency is usually imposed by others. Importance is defined by your own values and long-term direction. Modern neuroscience has established clearly that multitasking doesn't exist. What we call multitasking is rapid task switching that degrades performance on every task involved. The disciplined mind does not scatter. It concentrates like a lens focusing light into a single burning point. You end many days having been extremely busy and having accomplished almost nothing that genuinely matters to you. You responded to everyone else's priorities. You handled the urgent while the important sat untouched. Again, this is not a time management problem. It is a focus discipline problem, and it cannot be solved with a better calendar system, only with a daily practice of choosing one thing and protecting it with iron commitment. Every evening, write one sentence. The most important thing I can do tomorrow is. Make it specific, not work on my project. Write the first section of chapter 2. Then schedule the first 90 minutes of your productive day exclusively for that task. No email, no messages, no meetings. Close everything except what that single task requires. When distraction arrives, and it will return without self-judgment to the single focus. The return is the practice. Each return is a rep of discipline. Most people are reactive all day and exhausted by evening, with nothing to show for it that they actually chose. You are building the practice of doing the one thing that matters before the day consumes you. Over time, that daily act of focused intention produces results that scattered effort never could. And those results become evidence. And evidence becomes identity. Let's move to habit 6A, practice that reinforces your discipline when external pressure tries to strip it away. Habit 6, the Stoic pause. Epictetus wrote in the Discourses, Book 2, Chapter 18, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This truth has guided composed warriors for centuries. Between every provocation and every response there is a gap. Discipline lives in that gap. The Stoic pause is the deliberate practice of inserting a moment of conscious choice between a stimulus and your response, not suppression, not avoidance. A genuine pause, a breath, a step back, a silent question before you speak, act, or decide under pressure. Viktor Frankl described this gap as the ultimate human freedom. The Stoics built it into daily practice. Modern neuroscience confirms that even the 3-second delay before responding under emotional pressure significantly reduces the intensity of the stress response and increases the quality of decision-making. That pause is trainable. You say things you regret. You make decisions from irritation, pride, or fear that you would never make from clarity. You react before you think and spend days managing the consequences. Every relationship you've damaged with a hasty word, every professional mistake made in a moment of reactive emotion, all of it, could have been prevented by 3 seconds of practiced pause. The Stoic pause doesn't slow you down. It stops you from undoing everything your discipline built. Practice this in low-stakes moments, first traffic, small disagreements, minor frustrations. When tension rises, breathe in for 4 counts through your nose. Hold for 2, out for 4. Ask one question internally before responding. Does this response serve the person I am building? In high-stakes moments, difficult conversations, important negotiations, moments of provocation, give yourself physical space if possible. Stand, step back, drink water. The pause signals to your nervous system that you are in command. Practice it daily in small moments so it becomes automatic in large ones. Most people are puppets of their own reactivity. A single comment can pull their strings. You are building the gap where your character lives. When you pause, you are not being passive. You are being precise. You are choosing your response instead of being chosen by it. That precision is power, real power. The kind no external circumstance can remove. Habit 6 protects your discipline from external attack. Habit 7 builds it through the most overlooked Stoic practice. Let's move forward. Habit 7, the midday recalibration. Seneca wrote in Letters to Lucilius, Letter 16, "Philosophy promises above all else common sense, humanity, and fellowship. But before you can bring those to others, you must return to them yourself." This truth has guided measured leaders for centuries. The disciplined man does not wait until evening to correct his course. He checks his compass at noon. The midday recalibration is a 3-minute practice at the middle of the day where you stop completely, no tasks, no screens, no conversations, and ask yourself 2 questions. Am I still aligned with the intention I set this morning? Where has my discipline slipped today? This is not self-criticism. It is navigation. A ship's captain checks the heading continuously, not because he doubts the destination, but because conditions change and course corrections must be made in real time. Your discipline does the same. Modern research on habit maintenance shows that midday self-monitoring doubles the likelihood of sustained behavior change compared to end-of-day review alone. Your mornings are strong and your evenings are full of regret. The discipline you built at dawn gets eroded by noon, by small compromises, by reactive decisions, by gradual drift from your intention. Without a midday checkpoint, you don't notice the drift until the day is gone. The midday recalibration catches it at the midpoint when there is still half a day left to redirect. Set a single alarm for midday 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. whatever works for your schedule. When it sounds, stop for exactly 3 minutes. No exceptions. Write 2 answers. Where did I drift from my morning intention? And what one correction will I make this afternoon? Keep it brief. Keep it honest. Do not judge. Just observe and adjust. This practice works best when treated as a neutral check-in, not a performance evaluation. Most people wait until evening to realize their day slipped away. You are building the habit of catching the drift while there's still time to correct it. That real-time self-governance is one of the rarest forms of discipline, and one of the most powerful. It transforms every day into a training session where you are both athlete and coach. Almost there. Habit 8 addresses the one daily practice that makes every other habit permanent over time. Let's continue. Habit 8. The evening account Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, Book 5, Passage 31. Confine yourself to the present. And Seneca described his own evening practice in On Anger, Book 3. I examine my entire day and retrace all my actions and words. I conceal nothing from myself. I pass nothing by. This truth has guided self-mastering warriors for centuries. The day is not finished until it has been honestly reviewed. The evening account is a 10-minute nightly practice of reviewing the day's discipline, with complete honesty, not to punish yourself, but to learn. You are your own most demanding teacher. You ask, where did I demonstrate the habits I committed to? Where did I fail? What specifically caused each failure? And what one adjustment will I make tomorrow? This practice converts daily experience into cumulative wisdom. Without it, you repeat the same failures indefinitely. With it, every day, including the hard ones, makes you more capable than the day before. You make the same mistakes weekly because nothing in your routine forces you to examine them. The procrastination returns. The reactive moment returns. The avoidance returns. Not because you're incapable of change, because you never created a structured space where change is designed. The evening account creates that space. It turns failure from shame into data, and data into growth. Each evening, open your notebook and write answers to 4 questions. 1. Which of today's 9 habits did I practice fully? 2. Which did I neglect? 3. What specifically caused the neglect? Was it fear, comfort, distraction, or poor planning? 4. What one change will I make tomorrow? Keep each answer to 2 sentences. Total time, 10 minutes. Do not skip this practice on difficult days. Difficult days produce the most valuable data. Most people end their days with vague guilt that they can't name or act on. You are building the practice of turning every day, including the worst ones, into curriculum. A man who reviews himself with honesty and without shame is a man who cannot stay stuck. Progress becomes inevitable, not because you're extraordinary, because you're systematic. One habit remains, and it is the one that makes every other habit a permanent identity rather than a temporary effort. Let's finish with Habit 9. Habit 9, the commitment renewal Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, Book 12, Passage 23. Everything harmonizes with me, which is harmonious to thee, O universe. This is the declaration of a man who has renewed his commitment to his own philosophy so many times that it has become inseparable from his identity. This truth has guided unshakable men for centuries. Discipline is not a decision you make once. It is a commitment you renew daily. The commitment renewal is the final practice of each day, a brief, deliberate act of recommitting to your discipline before sleep. Not a motivational exercise, a philosophical contract. You're telling your own mind, tomorrow, I begin again. Not from scratch from yesterday's lessons, with tomorrow's intention. Modern habit research confirms that implementation intention-specific commitments to future action made in advance significantly increase follow-through compared to general motivation. The Stoics understood this intuitively. They did not rely on feeling committed. They practiced commitment as a daily act. Discipline erodes not in dramatic failures, but in quiet abandonment. You miss one morning, then 2, then a week, and the habits that were building your identity quietly dissolve. Not because you chose to quit, but because you never consciously chose to continue. The commitment renewal closes the day with an explicit choice to persist. That choice made deliberately every night is what separates a month-long experiment from a permanent transformation. Each night, after your evening account, write one final sentence. Tomorrow I recommit to iron discipline because, and complete it with your deepest reason. Not a superficial goal, your real reason. The version of yourself you're building, the life you're constructing, the person you refuse to remain. Read it aloud once. Close your notebook. Sleep knowing that tomorrow begins with commitment already made. Over time, this sentence becomes your anchor, the thing you return to on the days your motivation disappears and your discipline must carry you alone. Most people rely on motivation. Motivation is whether it comes and goes without your permission. You are building something different. You are building a man who does not need to feel like doing the hard thing in order to do it. A man whose commitment was renewed last night and whose habits begin before he has time to negotiate. That man is unstoppable. Not because nothing challenges him, but because his response to every challenge was already decided. These are not ideas. They are the actual structure of an iron discipline built habit by habit, morning by morning, evening by evening, until discipline stops being something you practice and becomes something you are. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be deliberate, every day, in these 9 specific ways. Start tomorrow. Pick the 3 habits that felt most urgent and begin there. Add more as the first 3 solidify. Build the full system over 30 days. And at the end of those 30 days, you will not recognize the version of yourself who couldn't get out of bed without negotiating. Tap like if this reached something real in you. Drop the number of the habit that hit hardest in the comments. Your public declaration that you are done leaving discipline as an aspiration and ready to build it as an identity. Subscribe. This channel exists to give you the tools that ancient philosophy built and modern life needs desperately. Become the master of your mind. Rebuild what comfort eroded. Refocus on what discipline creates. Rise into the version of yourself that was always possible and is now being forged daily in iron. Rise above.